money, because this money does not come in bulk. We requested for such and such an amount of money. This money is the money that came to the CRF. This is how this money was spent. That is the only way you can say that you are playing your oversight role, Mr. Speaker. There is no other way, Mr. Speaker, of saying that after you have to wait until we get the report of the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker, because this report is not coming instantly, Mr. Speaker. Finally, even if you give autonomy to the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, there still remain some section of something that is required of the county executive committee member for finance to sign for monies that are still going to the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. If we get these monthly reports of IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, we shall get to know how much of this money that was in the requisition went to the county assembly, how much went to the county government. We shall also see how much of this money that has come to the counties is going to development and how much is going to current expenditure, Mr. Speaker. Because
unfortunately, Senator Medhu, your 5 minutes is spent. This was, well, give Senator Medhu 30 seconds, and 30 seconds it is.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your magnanimity, Mr. Speaker. I was just saying, every time we get to the 30th of June of every year, and we say that there's some money that has remained with the national government, most of the time the money that remains in the national government is not development money. They expend every recurrent expenditure. So when they are doing the supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker, this money that was meant to go to development is diverted to other places. There is no way to view how this money is being spent in terms of what is going to development, what is going to recurrent, if we do not have monthly reports of IFMIS. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Medhu. Before I give this time to the mover, I have got a communication to make on visiting delegation of teachers and students from Chemase Boarding School from Nandi County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 95 students from Chemase Boarding School in Nandi County who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Now, Senator Cherargei, the Senator for Nandi County, in under 1 minute, welcome the delegation from your county.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Although they are almost walking in, I want to extend a warm welcome to Chemase Junior Secondary School and senior school. I've just met them outside, Mr. Speaker, and I've done, as per tradition, you have guided us. I want to extend a warm welcome. They come from Chemase, Chemelil Ward, Tindred constituency, Nandi County. I know you are familiar. To give them all the best, and I've encouraged them to work hard on behalf of you as the Speaker and on behalf of the House. I'm aware that is seated in gallery is Milai School from Wazingishu County, which is a neighboring school. I want to also wish them the best. Wazingishu is one of our neighboring counties and one of our important North Rift regions with the only city county, and also tell them to work hard, be disciplined, be God-fearing, and if there are issues, always engage your teachers and your parents. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I yield back the mic.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei. Now, Senator Okiya Omtata, the time available is for you to reply. However, the Speaker is guiding that you could donate part of the time you have to Senator Ojienda to comment, then you finally reply. You donate 5 minutes. Senator Professor Tom Ojienda, Senator Omtata has graciously donated 5 minutes of his time for your comments on the motion. Thereafter, you will reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the prolegomena to my contribution to this motion, Mr. Speaker, I wish to highlight that the integrated financial systems and the process that is used by counties, Mr. Speaker, to defray expenses and payment to contractors is a system, Mr. Speaker, that must be transparent, must be accessible, and must allow senators to oversight and to undertake their function under Article 96 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, when payments are made to contractors without an aging process, it is impossible for senators to know who has been paid, on what consideration, and often, Mr. Speaker, counties favor certain contractors over others. Counties ignore certain contractors whose services, Mr. Speaker, were contracted before the governors in office were elected. And that is the case in my county, Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. So that you find, Mr. Speaker, that contractors who rendered services during the tenure of the first governor, Jack Ranguma, are not paid. Mr. Speaker, these IFMIS systems, this system that is proposed in the motion by Senator Omtata, and that has been the subject of litigation in court, Mr. Speaker, will allow senators to oversight and to know who has been paid. That report, Mr. Speaker, if shared, will enable senators to deal with the weaknesses in payment systems, so that, Mr. Speaker, we know once funds are sought and go into the account of the county for payment, then approver 2 cannot divert payments to another contractor when the money was secured to pay another contractor. Mr. Speaker, that would help in oversight, and that is why I support, Mr. Speaker, this motion. The question of data and information will then make it easy, Mr. Speaker, for accountability of officers who, at times without even the knowledge of the governor, undertake diversion of funds to pay third parties. At times, Mr. Speaker, that process of diversion is done within the treasury of the county. It is done without the knowledge of the controller of budget, who has finalized the process of approving payment to a particular supplier, and the schedules returned to the county for final payments. Mr. Speaker, this motion is timeless, and we hope that on a monthly basis, if the records are availed to this House, for senators to be able to see how their counties undertake their functions and payments, Mr. Speaker, it will contribute not just to the foundations of the Constitution in terms of oversight, but also, Mr. Speaker, it will allow transparency in payment processes, accountability follow-ups, Mr. Speaker. It will also act as a deterrent. It will deter county officers from violating the law and bypassing certain contractors or certain persons who they do not want to pay or who are not willing to dance to what they want. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Professor Tom Agenda. Now, Senator Okiya Omtata, it's your turn to reply. Take note of the time you do have. You've got 10 minutes to conclude your reply.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. And I also join Senator Cherkey for congratulating our youngsters and their teachers who are among us. I'm most honored to be among young people, because sometimes you go in a group and you find you have people who are about to die in one room. But here the future looks safe. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm a very happy person today. When I was elected into this House, I understood it not as being bestowed with exceptional privilege, I understood it as being bestowed with immense responsibility. So in this House, and each senator here discharges an office of immense responsibility, not of immense privilege. So, Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, I would like to inform the House that yesterday, the High Court sitting in Vihiga, in the case of Okiya Omtatro Koiti versus His Excellency Dr. Paul Nyong'o Otuoma, the Governor of Busia County, and Athi Limited, and one other, rendered a judgment that is very relevant to this information. When you listen to Senator Chererke talk earlier sometime, he referred to a situation whereby I got attacked by hooligans or goons when I was leaving court in Busia because I had asked for this information that I would like, now that 1 year has gone, I will be given the record of work that the county government had done implementing the budget of 2022-2023, so that I could also carry out my post-mortem functions to see whether the money had gone or been utilized according to the law and effectively. But I was met with resistance. I tried to push, I wrote very many letters. Eventually, Mr. Speaker, we ended up in court. When we went to court in Busia, goons were organized, they pelted my vehicles and my people who were with me. We ran away for safety to the police. And the judge got concerned. So Justice Musyoka asked the Chief Justice to do two things in that case. He certified the case as raising a very fundamental issue, and he asked that the case be moved out of Busia so that it can be heard without hooligan or goons interfering. So the Chief Justice made a bench of 3 judges and appointed the Vihiga High Court to sit and hear the case. So the judgment was rendered yesterday. In that case, access to information. And I would like to read, allow me to read, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 110 of the judgment. It's slightly long, but I'll read it because it's very relevant to what is coming here. I'll read that as a reply. The 3-judge bench said, the orders that commend themselves to the court are as follows. A declaration that the petitioner and other senators are entitled to personally access all information and documents held by the county governments at all times. And they must be promptly allowed full access to all information and documents on their county government's transactions wherever they request for them. B, a declaration be and is hereby granted that, given the shared oversight mandate with senators, members of county assemblies, MCAs, are entitled to personally access all information and documents on their county government transactions at all times, and they must be promptly allowed full access to all information and documents whenever they request for them. C, a declaration that a representative of the people of his/her county to the Senate under Article 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, a senator has the corporate mandate to oversight his or her county government on behalf of the people by monitoring and evaluating its policies, operations, and activities. D, a declaration that in his/her official capacity as a democratically elected county leader, representing the sovereign people of his/her county pursuant to Article 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, an individual senator does not lose his/her rights as a citizen under Article 35 of the Constitution to access information from the county government. E, a declaration that the failure by the first respondent to provide information sought under Article 35(1) of the Constitution and also to publicize the information in accordance with Article 35, Clause 3, on the basis of the petitioner's letters requesting for information was, Roman 1, discriminatory and a violation of the petitioner's right to access information and to fair administrative action. Roman 2, a violation of Article 10 of the Constitution, specifically the values of the rule of law, participation of the people, human rights, good governance, transparency, and accountability. Roman 3, a contravention of Articles 1, clauses 1 and 2, Article 2, Article 3, Clause 1, Article 10, 19, 20, 21, 24, 73, 75, 96, 174, 175, Clause A, 179, Clause 4, and Clause 6, 201, Clause A, 227, Clause 1, 232, Clause 1, Clause 1, Paragraph A, B, C, D, E, F, and 2A and B, and 259(1) of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. Roman 4, a contravention of Sections 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, Clause 1 of the Access to Information Act, 2016. B, Sections 3, 4, 5, and 6 of the Fair Administration Action Act, 2015. C, Sections 3, 4, Clause 1, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 13, 1A, B, C, D of the Leadership and Integrity Act, 2012. D, Section 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, 185B, Cap 185B, and E, Section 96, 1 of the County Governments Act, Cap 265. Then F, a declaration that failure by the respondents to provide information sought under Article 35, 1A, and also to publish the information in accordance with Article 35.3 is a violation of the obligations imposed on him by Chapter 6 of the Constitution, specifically Article 73, Clause 1, and 75, Clause 1 of the Constitution, and 1, Roman 1, a contravention of Section 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, Cap 185B, E, Section 96, 1 of the County Governments Act, Cap 265, F, Section 166, 4C of the Public Finance Management Act, Article 19.1 of the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, Roman 2, a contravention of Article 19 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and Article 9 of the African Charter and Human Rights, People's Rights, and J, the Parliamentary Service, Senate Monitoring and Evaluation Procedure for Management of Funds, Regulations, 2016. So, Mr. Speaker, the list is long, but I just want to underline that what we are doing in this House today is on all fours with the law. You have seen the House has said, I was denied this information, and it violated so many provisions of the Constitution. And then the order is an order that the petitioner should be given all the information, and the petitioner is me, all the information and documents which the petitioner sought from the respondents via the 15 letters in issue. I wrote 15 letters to the county government of Busia requesting for information on how they had spent the budget. Yes. I would like to be informed briefly. I will pray that you adjust my time a bit.
Do you like to be informed by Senator Chergey?
I would like to be, but be brief.
I will be just to the point. Thank you, Senator Okoitio Mtata. The school that is leaving is Chemase, number 1, junior and senior school. Number 2, I wanted to inform through the speaker that I also wrote to the governor of Nandi to give me with information. But he wrote back by telling me that since audit has done under Article 229, I don't have a right as the area senator to access any information and wait for the audit report. So my question only, as part of information and clarity. Is it a question
or information, Senator?
Information. So I wanted clarity also so that I don't rise up against Speaker, is whether the ruling can be implemented across the 47 counties. I yield back, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Mtata.
Yes, the ruling was done in REM. It's a judgment in REM. So it combines all county governments. And when I made my pleadings, I did not plead for Busia. I pleaded about the senators of the Republic of Kenya. Remember, I'm a senator of the Republic of Kenya from Busia. So I pleaded for all senators, and the orders cover all senators and MCS across the country. All MCS in Kenya and all senators enjoy these orders. So I was that I should be given the information within 21 days from the judgment date. Mr. Speaker, just 1 minute so that I can finish the order. It's a very important thing for the court.
Give him 1 minute to conclude.
So, and an order of mandamus compelling the respondents to give to the petitioner within a period of not exceeding 21 days from the judgment date all the information the petitioner sought in his letters. The letters are listed here, the word which letter said, and on the issue of cost, they say that every party bears their cost. So this is an important judgment, which, Mr. Speaker, I will request that should be shared in this House and in all county assemblies, because it restores our right to access information. And the motion before your Mr. Speaker, sir, is a motion that requires that access to information be guaranteed, because that's the only way we shall do what they call in Kiswahili, mulika mwizi. I reply, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Omtata. You may need to request that we defer the putting
I request that we defer the placing of the question to the point when we shall have, we shall be able to move the question.
Very well.
To a later date.
Very well. Pass on to the provisions of Standing Order 66.3. Putting of the question is deferred to the next sitting of the House. Clerk, can you call the next order? Clerk, call order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and sincere apologies that I was not here when I was supposed to move to give notice, and I appreciate your indulgence. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that aware that Article 53(1)(b) of the Constitution guarantees every child the right to free and compulsory basic education, while Articles 27, 43, 54, and 56 of the Constitution, the Persons with Disabilities Act, the Children's Act, and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities require the state to promote equality, dignity, and access to inclusive education for persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups through appropriate legislative, policy, administrative, and budgetary measures, recognizing that national laws and policies, including the Basic Education Act, the Persons with Disabilities Act, the Children's Act, and the Competency-Based Curriculum Framework, provide for inclusive and equitable education through reasonable accommodation and appropriate support for learners with disabilities and special education needs, including neurodevelopmental and learning disabilities, that the Constitution assigns early childhood development education and childcare facilities to county governments, while the national government oversees education policy, curriculum, standards, and teacher management, thereby requiring effective intergovernmental coordination to promote disability-inclusive education, concerned that despite existing legal and policy frameworks, many learners with disabilities continue to face barriers in accessing quality education due to gaps in identification, assessment, specialized personnel, assistive technologies, infrastructure, and support services, as highlighted by the Auditor General's Performance Audit on Education for Learners with Special Needs 2025, which revealed deficiencies in resources and institutional capacity, leaving many learners, including those with neurodevelopmental conditions and learning disabilities, inadequately supported despite significant public investment in education. Recognizing that disability-inclusive education requires sustainable financing, accountability, reliable data, evidence-based planning, intergovernmental collaboration, and meaningful participation of persons with disabilities in education processes. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that 1. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with National Treasury and county governments, shall, within 6 months, develop and submit to Parliament a costed national disability inclusive education implementation and financing framework outlining learner needs, accessibility gaps, support services, implementation timelines, accountability mechanisms, and sustainable financing arrangements. 2, that the Ministry of Education reviews and harmonizes existing laws, policies on disability inclusive education to align with the Constitution, the competency-based curriculum, and international obligations, ensuring adequate support for learners with all forms of disabilities. 3, that the Ministry of Education establishes standardized disability data collection and reporting systems and maintain a comprehensive database of learners requiring disability-inclusive education support to inform planning, budgeting, monitoring, and resource allocation. And finally, 4, that the Ministry of Education implements the recommendations of the Auditor General's Performance Audit on Education for Learners with Special Needs 2025 and gives an implementation status to the Senate of the provisions of Section 20 of the Persons with Disabilities Act within 90 days following approval of this motion. Senator Catherine Muma, nominated senator.
Now, Honorable, thank you very much, Senator Muma. Honorable Senators, with that notice, the following orders are hereby deferred. Order number 8 to number 21, and order number 23 to 25. And we may now rise. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 29th of July, 2026 at 9:30 a.m.